This man right here, Darren Appleton, a threat to win any tournament he enters. He has played Hall of Fame quality pool over the last 3 and maybe even 4 years, you could say. But especially in the last few years, he's really, really upped his game.
The 3 and the 4 ball down. The requisite number of balls crossing the head string as well. So the break was legal. Just a pity where the 1 came to rest.
Carl Boyes himself took a bit of time off, had a child, and was attending to fatherly duties, family. And I actually think it did him well because in the last 8 months he's come back and he has really, really played well. Last week in Doha, he made it all the way to the semifinals and played great pool.
Yeah, so coming up just short in the World 9-ball Championship, but he is a former World 8-ball winner.
So they call a push-out. Ursal Nasuchon. That's Ursal right there. Ricky Yang, a veteran player from the Asian scene. So what they did there, they decide not to take on that shot that was left to them by England. So it'll be Carl Boyes now to shoot.
Well, he pushed out of there. He knew exactly what he wanted it to do, and the shot has worked perfectly. The decision of the Indonesians has backfired.
So this is our first, the first chance to see the short stick. Ursal will jump over that orange 5.
Extension call.
You might be able to hear a child in the background. I'm led to believe that's Carl Boyes. His daughter's here, supporting Daddy.
Shot. Ball in hand.
That's exactly why you play a safety. Try to get your opponents to foul, because that means ball in hand for Team England. Watch these colors disappear.
Well, even contemplating a swift conclusion, 1-9, but I think the way the balls are, why not just run it out and get your stroke as smooth as you can? And it doesn't look as though there's any obvious obstacles to winning rack 1 from here.
I always like to call, he's lining up. He's going to do it.
Now, this is the direct path, but we've seen an awful lot today that combinations have been judged incorrectly. I think he's doing the correct thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an amateur and you're playing in the pub or at home, you'd want to go for that shot. But the pros, it's really no problem for them to run out. So it's better to be wise than foolish.
Well, there's much less risk in potting 7 balls in succession, the way they spaced out here, than there was in taking on what was an iffy combination. And Ted, you mentioned the pub. That's where Darren Appleton's pool started. The public house in question, the Frog and Firkin, He played for them in the Nottingham League. What a journey since then.
Yes, he sat atop the world of English 8-ball for about 7 years. Gave it all up, got fed up with it all, and decided to turn to this game, the American game of pool. And that was in about 2006. And in just 7 short years, he has carved out what will be a Hall of Fame career. It's absolutely incredible what he has accomplished.
And he was definitely right to ignore the 1-9 temptation combination. They ran out, and England take a 1-0 lead. I think the word you could use to describe these two, both in terms of reputation, maybe even form, and certainly in terms of determination and experience, that word is formidable.
Absolutely. Of course, on their own, 2 of the world's best, but we have to see how they perform as a team. They look pretty good there. That's exactly what you want to do, even in singles 9-ball. Force your opponent into fouling after a safety and then clear the table. Simple. Keep it simple. That's the KISS principle.
I think the Indonesians realise that they're in for a very tough task tonight.
England's break, leading 1 rack to 0.
Not the best of draws. England A, with England being on home base.
32 two-man teams from 31 nations. The home nation, England, having the honor of getting 1 extra team. 2-ball is down. The 4-ball is down, and there is a shot on the 1.
Appleton's list of accomplishments is extraordinary as we see the break off again. 2 balls in, okay, but the position again of that 1 ball could have been a lot better. Test of this. Test passed. Yes, Appleton's won the World 9-ball championship, World 10-ball, back-to-back US Open champion. I personally think that's his greatest accomplishment. He's number 1 in the WPA, I should say, world rankings. He's risen right to the pinnacle of the sport.
Well, he recently dropped out of the number 1 spot in favor of Thorsten Homan. He's down to number 6 now, but that was because he got knocked out in the World 9-ball championship by Homan last week in Doha in the round of 16. But let me tell you something. You forget about those rankings for a minute. Darren Appleton, over the last 3 years, is, I think, the best player in the sport of professional pool. And I don't think, Bill, you're going to find too many people standing up and arguing with me over that one.
And he also brought a gold medal back to the UK recently. Went to the World Games in Cali in Colombia. Snooker was also played there. And Appleton was the gold medalist. He beat Dennis Akolo 11-9 in the semi-final, and then Chan Junling 11-10 in the final. That after trailing 9-7.
A difficult cueing here for boys. That's the result. He had to jack up over the 8-ball. Of course, you'd much prefer to have a level cue. Let's watch that again. It's that joint, that knuckle on the side pocket.
The positive aspect of that shot for the English is that even though the 6-ball is available, it's a tough pot in itself, and position on the 7 makes it even tougher. And that's why the Indonesians have chosen to take their extension.
Early gut check shot here for Nasution. what makes that so hard. He has to, since the cue ball was so close to the rail, he has to jack up and dig in to that cue ball, trying to bring it back for the 7. Unfortunately for Indonesia, he leaves it on. That'll be okay. Don't forget that these teams have not had a chance to play on this table. They don't get even one rack practice on this table. There is a diamond table identical to this up in the practice room, completely different conditions. That's not under the hot lights like here.
Karl boy's just looking around the child who's shouting out. I think he's realising that it might be a little issue.
England now up 2-0. I think that his kids' cries will only become an issue if Indonesia starts to come back. But yeah, you wouldn't want. I think they would probably be better served by taking the baby out.
We don't want to sound like party poopers, but then again, it is the World Cup of pool. England are 2-0 ahead, and deservedly so. Later on this evening, Finland, the defending champions, take on South Korea. Finland, of course, big favourites to come through that match. And then the nightcap, England v. That's Darryl Peach and Chris Melling, 2 fine cueists. Peach, of course, a former world 9-ball champion. They're up against Dominic Jensch and Ralph Souquet, representing Germany.
Thank you, rack 3. England's break, leading 2 racks to 0.
Call him Dynamite, Darren Appleton. Mentioning all his accomplishments, don't forget
Control passes.
the Mosconi Cups as well. Illegal break. Pay attention to this. Must have 3 balls past the head string. Pocketed balls also count towards those 3, so only 1 past that white line, the right side of your screen, and 1 ball pocketed. So Indonesia can now shoot. Could also give it back. But with a pot on the 2, obviously they won't. But where does that leave them?
Well,
Not good.
that was exactly the incorrect thing to do. Talk about putting yourself in trouble. The 3 tucked in behind the 9. At least they can see the funny side of it.
Can you try to figure out what he was thinking there? He drew the ball back, the cue ball, even further away from the red.
Extension call.
Well, I think he was trying to get the cue ball in behind the 5 and maybe just graze the red 3 ball away from the 9 and take the 2 ball up the table. Can't imagine you went for the pot. Why? No value there whatsoever.
We're going to see a kick shot from Nasut Joan. Nicely done, but look where the 9 ball is, sitting right by the bottom corner pocket. This is a no-brainer right here. There you see pointing at the cue, right at the angle. Okay, now the 3 ball's the object ball, so after that, anything can drop. 3 balls, the dark red ball.
Extension call.
Yes, so numerically, as England take the extension, numerically the combination is 3, 5, hopefully 9.
For me, you're going to rank 3. Yeah. Can you avoid the scrap?
He has to hit this very precise. This could go wrong. Everybody said go for it. You have to jack up, jack up. They want to put an end to this rack and get that 3-rack lead. Well, that didn't work, but they got away with it. 4 ball, way down table, and it's being hidden.
Strange old rat, this already.
So now Appleton pulls out the short stick. The jump cue. So that did not work. Actually, he was just trying to hit that ball.
The one thing the Indonesians can't do is just tickle the cue ball in behind the Reds, or the brown 7 and the black 8, because a cushion has to be found with at least 1 ball.
The problem with that shot, they need to hit a rail. So he had to hit a different shot. You know, after contact is made with the object ball, something must hit a rail. Otherwise, they'd just be pushing balls a half an inch, and it would go on all night. So something must hit a rail after contact. That's a good shot.
Yes, that tip-tapping tactically in the English 8-ball game is known as fudging. If you get a fudging battle going on, it can last forever.
So in English 8-ball, you do not need to hit a rail.
Well, obviously rules change, but when it's a fudging night, I'll tell you what, it's interminable.
Now, you won't see that in 9-ball. You will see safety exchanges, which are always very interesting. Push-outs. 9-ball is generally a fast game.
Yes, 9-ball a fast game, and this match could also be very fast. The writing already beginning to be scrawled on the wall.
Absolutely. You give either of these guys an opening, and they are going to walk right through it. In favor of the home side. Indonesia reduced to being a spectator at the moment. We'll have more when we come back.
.com, proud sponsors of the World Cup of Pool.
A first look at what's on the front pages as they arrive.
I have no problems with it.
I'd probably agree with you.
If the facts change, you're willing to change your mind.
That's absolutely right.
You won't agree with
But look,
this.
but look,
Bleeding heart liberal.
you could have just answered the question.
And there are so many things that I disagree with.
Doesn't really count.
Oh, I would do that very differently. Sorry, just 1 second, Tessa. Didn't
It
you?
did. It
No, it
absolutely
didn't.
did.
No, it absolutely didn't.
What is he talking? More than just the papers. The press preview. Every night at 10:30 and 11:30.
Good girl.
Jessica, hello.
Hi.
I switched to the Santander 123 current account.
Brilliant.
Just gave him a call. It was easy. Now I get 3% interest on balances between £3,000 and £20,000,
Good.
up to 3% cashback on my household bills, and 1% cashback on my Santander monthly mortgage payments. We should all hang out more.
Join 1.8 million 123 current account holders for just £2 a month. The current account with cashback and interest in one.
This is your prize for sacrificing weekend after weekend to build up the business. Your trophy for juggling conference calls and school plays. This is your reward, and deservedly so. PrimeLocation.com. Find the home you deserve.
The security features in Everest UPVC windows are rigorously tested, and they're now up to 50% off. Find out more at everest.co.uk. I see you've more than just one car. Admiral Multi-Car can save you more by far.
Go direct!
Insure your cars with me. Admiral is the place.
Go direct, Jack. Multi-Car could save you more, save more, save more, save more. Go direct, Jack. Admiral could save you more.
Start with one car and get your first discount straight away.
Admiral could save you more.
Admiral, the home of multi-car discounts.
One electric engine, one petrol, combining to deliver a range of over 580 miles. Efficiency without the compromise. The new Audi A3 Sportback e-tron arrives autumn 2014.
.com, proud sponsors of the World Cup of Pool.
We're currently in the process of completing the first round in the 888.com World Cup of Pool at the York Hall in Bethnal Green. England A, for them, everything in the garden so far, more than rosy. They lead Indonesia 3 racks to 0.
Into break, leading 3 racks to 0.
Our boys. Hails from Manchester. He's got 2 balls down. He's got the 1.
Push out cold.
And the 4. But no shot. 1 to 2. So there will be a push out. Yeah, try to compete with this guy on a push out. Good luck. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
Yes, he's one of those players, isn't he, who's got that extra dimension when it comes to tactical awareness.
He is a hardcore pool player, I like to say. You will never really be able to outthink Darren Appleton on the pool table. He's a real student of the game. That was interesting. Good result. He left that shot wide open. I mean, they could see that 2 ball, but it was married up against the 9, so nothing was going to happen. So now look for a proper safety here from England.
So there we were, extolling Appleton's tactical virtues, and the next time England come to the table, they're in a snooker. But I think on that occasion he was quite right to do what he did. Indonesia couldn't really have foreseen what was going to happen with the 2, but their weight on the cue ball was exemplary.
Ricky Yang won the Philippine Open a few years ago. That was a world-class field. A WPA ranking event, so more than capable. That's how you get out of a safety.
Love the body language.
Just nicks that 2 ball into the side pocket with position on the 3, opens up the whole rack. Well, well. Things are looking dire for Indonesia right now.
True, but that wasn't the best shot at all for position on the 5. Look where the 6 is. Appleton was disgusted with himself. Left the cue ball well short of what he wanted it to be.
No extension left. That's what you see boys looking at. There's a clock. Oh, that's going down. Carl, boys, Phil. Boy, some terrific shot making here early in this match.
Some kind of shot required here as well, because Appleton 2 straight on the green. The green 6. Oh, well done. Pleading with the cue ball to get out of the middle pocket. That was exceptional.
A lot of times we see, Phil, players, when they have poor position, it gets worse and worse. But when you know how to handle the cue ball like that, you can easily recover.
In terms of the spectacular shots in this rack, I think it's been the best of the tournament so far. Carl boys contributed 2, Appleton 1. England forged into a 4-0 lead. This was the first one, kicking off the top rail. In goes the 2. Absolutely pinpoint. Not just making the contact to pot it.
With position on the 3, but left some tricky position for Carl, and he hit that bank shot. Full table. You have to be precise.
But maybe this was the best shot of the lot. Deep screw and reverse side, just about making the angle. 6-7 from an unlikely position. For me, that was the pick of the 3.
Couldn't argue with that.
Rack 5, England to break, leading 4 racks to 0.
It's always fun to watch them control the cue ball, and that is the secret to 9-ball pool. Not just playing balls, but controlling that white ball. So that is a dry break. We'll have to take a seat. They're going to be back up at the table shortly, I believe. Oh, well, no, he can see that. Certainly can. Let's shoot Joan. Oh, he didn't get where he wanted to be on that 2-ball, and you see him shake his head. Not good.
Well, the Australians travelled all the way from down under to be whitewashed. I'm just wondering whether these 2 men from Jakarta might be set to suffer an identical fate. Lots of pool to be played before that becomes an eventuality. But it's definitely a possibility.
Absolutely. It's only a race to 7 in pool terms. This is just a sprint down the track. It's a winner break format. How about sending that 2 down table and hiding that cue ball behind that 5?
Extension call.
You got something else in mind. disappointed behind that orange 5. Oh, terrific. Terrific read with position. Boy, these guys are performing some very clever shots.
Creating magic, and then the kiss for the 2 on the 4 was ideal.
For those that are new to pool, it's not just the pot, it's the position for the next ball and the ball after.
You know, Ted, you extolling the virtues of Hungary yesterday, saying it was the finest performance you'd seen in the tournament so far. Right here, I think they're going to be replaced by the English.
Definitely, Phil. It's the quality of the shots here. Not just the fact that they're running racks. Very creative shot making. These guys seem to be a cut above the rest of the field in their knowledge of shot making.
They've got supreme skill. They've got home support. They've got great chemistry, and they're good friends. What a combination that is. A potent cocktail. It's 5-0 England.
Spectacular performance, Phil. Love the shot making, and I think anybody watching at home or wherever you are has to appreciate what England has done here. We have Hungary played well, but we didn't see this kind of shot making out of Hungary. They just played solid. This is a whole nother level.
I used the word experience in the previous rack. One thing experience will tell them, though, boys and Appleton as well, do not take anything for granted.
How many times have I seen that? Guys take their foot off the gas pedal only to see their opponents come back. But this guy right here, I don't think he's going to allow that to happen.
Yes, born in Pontefract, but now a resident of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Your neck of the woods, Ted.
Believe it or not, that happens to be my hometown as well. Born and raised there, don't live there now, but I see Darren when I go visit the family back there. Saw him a few weeks ago on the golf course in Allentown. Darren likes to play golf. Oh, it looks like a dry break. Oh, first an illegal break. There's nothing down anyway. So Indonesia, with a chance here, they can choose to shoot, or they can give the table back over to England.
When a match has gone like this, from an Indonesian standpoint, in a negative way, I think they're at the point now where they're second-guessing themselves about what to do.
Earlier point in the match, they may have sat down. I think they're going to take any chance. They're going to shoot because you've got to take any chance at the table to make something happen. They could just send us back, but you see, Ricky Yang, you've got to take some risk at this point. Maybe he's thinking a bank shot, using that 5 ball as an assisting ball. Didn't go well.
Surely the 1 ball won't go past the 3. Surely not.
Darren was down. They're considering it. That's going to be very difficult. So they're probably looking at a safety. called an extension. We've got 20 seconds remaining to shoot. He raises his hand in apology, but that turns out to be a good shot.
As well as they've played, and it has been top-class pool, they've also had a couple of rubs. But that's the way it works.
Well, the pool gods reward those who play good. Don't ask me why, but they seem to. We saw that with Greece earlier in the day. They played great, but it seemed like every time they made a mistake, they got away with it. You see that right there. Darren raised his hand in apology at the result. Well, that's a hit and pray. It worked out. Good shot for Ursel.
Yes, and it's fortune that can't be begrudged. Mind you, the way the boys has been kicking, it might be in the pocket. This one ball.
That 9 ball's tracking towards the pocket. Well, that changes the complexion of the rack to have the 9 ball so close to the pocket. But boy, still a lot of work here. You realize this match isn't that old, and boy, if Indonesia doesn't get out here, England would be on the hill, one away from victory. What does that mean? The Indonesians better play perfect 9-ball pool.
Awkward queuing this.
Just has to get in. Yeah, you see the angle he wants on the 6 ball. Slide it in there. Just beyond the 8 ball.
Extension call.
So important here. Phil, they know. This doesn't go well, it's over. He's a little guy, Ursel. Needs to stretch really far for this. This is awkward. Oh, that just... Turn out the lights. The party's over.
You called it, said he was stretching off balance, and when that's the case, the alignment goes out of the window. Called it too thick. And now England are 3 pots away from 6-0. Interestingly, if England prevail, it will mean that 13 seeded teams out of the 16 are through to the second round.
seen the amount of upsets that we have seen in past World Cup of pools. Nicely done. Keep the rest out. This by Karl Boys will make it 6-0.
We had a whitewash this afternoon. Greece handed out the punishment on that occasion. Will England do the same tonight? The Indonesians on the brink of defeat.
Proud sponsors of the World Cup of Pool.
Take a journey with the Sky 3D Weekend. On Friday, uncover the genius. Step inside the mind of Leonardo da Vinci. On Sunday, it's Clash of the Titans in an early season Manchester derby. Get close to the action to watch the sparks fly. Then enjoy the adventure of a stunning natural world. The premiere of Panda's 3D Back to the Wild. Followed by incredible family favourite Meerkat. The Sky 3D Weekend. Immerse yourself.
Good news! Yakult Light has fewer calories. One more reason why. Every day is a Yakult day.
Super cool and ready to wear. The Fiat 500 Autumn Winter Collection.
Quick quote. Daddy can't penetrate pins.
Yoch, bud.
Top of the morning to you. Confused.com. Quick quote.
My back pain's a constant distraction. Affecting my life at home and at work.
At times it felt hard to manage. Then I found out Simply Help are doing something to help. Their free app has expert advice from the charity Back Care. It helped me to grow and realise I'm not alone.
Download our free app today, and Simply Health will donate £1 to the charity Back Care. Simply Health. We can be bothered.
Oh, that's terrible. What's the first thing you'd do if someone told you they'd been burgled? You'd help. At More Than, we don't think insurance should be any different. Don't worry, we'll get this sorted out. Why don't you put the kettle on? So we won't interrogate you or pass you around the building. We'll just do all we can to help, like any decent person would.
Thank you.
No problem. Glad I could help. More Than, where you mean more.
Watch me beat David Hay, live on Sky Sports Box Office.
888.com, proud sponsors of the World Cup of Pool.
To say the least, it's been something of a frustrating evening for Indonesia. That's their latest mistake in rack 6, missing the 6th ball. And it cost them a 6-0 deficit. England in absolutely total command. They're breaking off in rack 7, needing just this to progress. Earlier today, Chinese Taipei 7, Belgium 5. That was an unconvincing performance by one of the tournament favourites. Greece beat Australia 7-0. Italy, in a match everyone thought would be a little closer, came through 7-3 against Spain. This is the final first-round match to reach its conclusion.
The ball went down, and just at the last second, the one ball peeks out. This is going to be a tough pot. But if England can make this full table shot on the 1, it should open up the rack and could bring down the curtain on Indonesia.
One of the English great assets is the fact that they both thoroughly respect the guy they're playing with.
They're going to be tough to beat after seeing this performance. We always wonder how, great individual players are going to come out and play as a doubles team. But this has been no problem. It's been smooth sailing all the way. So with no positional reward on the 2-ball, they choose safe. How frustrating for these two gentlemen. Their only chance at the table is having to play safe. Nicely done. Ursal Nasution.
Extension called.
Did he actually mention that he might try to pot this? Might try to pot this 1-ball because if he hits it just right, he can bring it out for the 2. Yes, sir. He didn't fancy running into the 5, but spectacular shot nonetheless.
And not only did he pot the 1, it did not touch the jaws. It went into the pocket straight in the centre.
Shut Daz.
I think we're going to see the jump cue now.
Shut Karl.
Maybe not. Ricky looking to kick at this. This is Ricky Yang. Oh, he can see that. Okay, from that angle, he can see it. All right.
You can see. Okay, give him a good skate, boys. Give him a
It's
good
all
skate.
gone wrong, Phil.
Well, it's an English phrase. I think the Indonesians have had the stuffing knocked out of them.
How about that shot? Well, inside pockets are never easy. That was a really sharp cut and dead straight into the side pocket. You're seeing some great shots from these two.
This is the 16th and last match of the first round of this 888.com World Cup of Pool. And indisputably, as far as I'm concerned, we're seeing the finest performance right here. Appleton and boys living up to their pre-tournament hype. And another point worth making If England do win, it will be 8 European teams in the last 16.
Well, that just fits in with the pattern that has emerged over the last few years in the sport of professional pool. Europe has won the last 2 World 9-Ball Championships. Darren Appleton, one of them in 2012. And they are a big force in this sport. Europe, and England especially. This will do it.
How do you hit
What
it?
a fittingly perfect shot
Perfect.
to bring an end to proceedings.
Way to go, boys.
and KB A-OK. Easier, comprehensively black.
Way to go, Daz. Way to go, Carl. You guys are awesome. I'm going to send this to you, Daz.